You're about to hear something that most men never will. This isn't pickup talk, and it's not fantasy. It's human psychology, evolutionary truth, and emotional intelligence blended into one message. What you'll hear today will shift the way you see women, attraction, and even yourself. Welcome to the Stoic Flame. Most men go through life chasing what they don't understand. They chase women, approval, validation, and attention, believing it's love. But real power doesn't come from chasing. It comes from understanding. Women aren't mysteries, they're patterns. Beautiful, emotional, ever-changing patterns shaped by instinct, fear, and survival. When you learn to read those patterns, you stop being confused. You stop chasing. You start commanding. Let's start with one truth that most men can't handle. Women think about sex far more than they'll ever admit. Society taught them to hide it, to seem modest, to never appear too eager. But biology doesn't lie. Behind every polite smile, there's an inner world of fantasy, emotion, and desire. While men's desire is visual, women's is psychological. It's born from mystery, tension, and imagination. The moment she fully understands you, her curiosity fades. So don't overexpose yourself. Don't make yourself too available. Desire thrives in curiosity. Be the mystery that stays in her mind long after you're gone. Speak with subtlety, not desperation. Touch lightly, not constantly. Because her attraction doesn't grow from what she can have. It grows from what she can't stop wondering about. Here's another truth. Female desire is fluid. A man's desire burns like fire, direct, focused, and consuming. A woman's desire moves like water. It flows, bends, and changes shape depending on the energy around her. Her attraction is emotional and contextual. It reacts to energy, tone, and presence. Monotony kills her interest faster than betrayal ever could. She's drawn to contrast, to movement, to evolution. One day she craves your calm, the next she's drawn to your dominance. Be unpredictable but stable. Speak softly when the world screams. Lead with quiet power. Take her places her mind didn't expect to go, emotionally, spiritually, even mentally. The feminine doesn't crave chaos, but it needs change. The man who can shift between storm and stillness becomes unforgettable. Now, let's talk about something deeper. Why she's drawn to certain men. Most women are subconsciously pulled toward familiarity. It's not about looks. It's about energy. The tone of your voice, the rhythm of your calm, the way you stand when others panic. These patterns make her feel safe. Familiarity creates trust, and trust unlocks desire. When you're consistent, emotionally steady, and grounded, her defenses drop. She stops testing, she stops doubting, and she starts opening up. Because at her core, she doesn't want chaos. She wants peace. Be the calm in her storm, the anchor in her ocean. Stability is seductive, and that leads to the next truth. Emotional intimacy is her greatest turn-on. Forget the noise about abs, money, and dominance. Those things attract attention, not connection. What truly ignites a woman's desire is feeling seen, heard, and understood. When you notice the small details, the way her voice trembles when she hides emotion, the way her eyes shift when she's lost in thought, you touch her soul, not just her body. She doesn't surrender to dominance. She surrenders to understanding. When she feels emotionally safe, her physical walls fall on their own. That's real power, the power of presence, empathy, and patience. But here's where most men fail. They take her emotional tests personally. When she challenges you, argues, or withdraws, they call her difficult. She's not being difficult. She's being ancient. Those tests come from survival instincts older than civilization. Thousands of years ago, a woman's life depended on sensing strength, not muscle, but emotional control. She needed to know if a man could stay calm under pressure, if he could protect and lead when chaos struck. That instinct is still alive. When she tests you, she's silently asking, "Are you stable? Can I trust your strength?" Don't fight her tests. Pass them. Stay calm. Smile. Breathe. Don't react with anger or fear. The moment you lose control, she loses attraction. But when you remain unshaken, her nervous system relaxes, her trust deepens, and she feels safe enough to love you fully. Kindness matters, but kindness without power is useless. Women crave compassion, but they don't respect weakness. The modern man confuses being polite with being powerful. True kindness comes from strength, from the ability to protect without needing to prove it. Be the man who listens gently but stands firm when life gets hard. Speak softly, but act decisively. That duality, warmth and authority, is magnetic. It's what separates the forgettable from the unforgettable. Understand this too. Her hormones change what she wants. During her cycle, her attraction shifts between dominance and connection. One week, she craves bold energy and confidence. Another week, she wants peace, empathy, and safety. That's not inconsistency. It's evolution. Learn to move with it. Be bold when it's time for passion. Be gentle when it's time for peace. The man who understands rhythm never chases. He leads with awareness, and that makes him unforgettable. But none of this matters without emotional intelligence. Looks fade, status changes. But emotional mastery never loses value. When you can understand her feelings, stay grounded through her storms, and express your truth calmly, you become timeless. You don't need to fix her emotions, just feel them with her. That simple empathy creates trust deeper than attraction. It builds something every woman secretly craves: emotional safety. And if you want something that lasts, remember this: similarity is the spark that endures. Opposites attract, yes, but similarities bond. When two people share values, rhythm, and humor, connection feels effortless. It doesn't feel like discovery, it feels like recognition. Real love doesn't begin with chaos, it begins with peace. There's also something primal that few talk about: scent. Before words, before language, attraction was chemical. Your natural scent speaks louder than any cologne. When you're healthy, confident, and calm, your biology radiates balance, safety, and strength. That scent imprints on her memory, even when she can't explain why she's drawn to you. It's not about trying too hard. It's about being natural, clean, and authentic. And finally, understand the truth about hypergamy. It's not manipulation, it's evolution. Women have always been drawn to men who can elevate their lives, not just with money or power, but with purpose, direction, and peace. Don't resent her for wanting more. Become more. Become the man whose vision is clear, whose presence is powerful, and whose discipline is unshakable. When she feels that in you, she doesn't look for anyone else. These are not tricks, they're truths. Ancient instincts that still govern modern attraction. But here's the real twist. It was never about understanding her. It was about understanding yourself. Because when you master your emotions, your focus, and your purpose, you stop chasing validation. You stop performing. You become grounded, magnetic, and effortlessly masculine. Every man wants attention, but few create presence. Presence is what changes everything. It's the calm in your voice, the control in your reactions, the silence that speaks louder than words. So, King, ask yourself, what secret will you master first? Will you build your strength, your calm, your emotional depth? Because when you do, you won't have to chase anyone. You'll simply attract what was meant for you. This is the Stoic Flame, reminding you that real power is quiet, real attraction is earned, and real mastery begins within. Stay strong, stay calm, and keep the flame burning.